All right, here we are backstage at the dinner party show. We are in the control room with Brandon Griffith, who is the man that makes the show happen, along with Brett Chernin, our computer guy, who you met in another video. But Brandon is the guy who runs the live show. So take us on a little mini tour through this, because all this is what basically runs the show, right?
That's correct. So what we have here is...
This is a table, right? So this holds everything up.
This holds the multitude of keyboards that we need, because we need multiple keyboards to run the show. We have our mixer board over here. We're utilizing 4 different computer systems.
Okay, so talk to us about this big computer that's in front of you. What does it handle?
So this particular computer here runs Pro Tools, and this is where we actually record the show. And we actually record all the sketches for the show on this. We edit all the sketches on this. We add sound effects to the sketches on this. And then when we do the live show, we're actually using Pro Tools to record the show, which thus generates the podcast that you get to hear at home.
Right. So we have 2 responsibilities when we're in the midst of a show. We have to broadcast or stream the live show, but we have to record it at the same time so that we have a podcast to post the next day.
Right, exactly. Okay. So that's what Pro Tools allows us to do that, along with the mixer board here. And then we also have this system, which runs a program called New Wave.
Okay.
Which basically gives Chris the ability to...
The fuck are you doing?
Oh, it's my favorite thing.
Play his hotkeys. And this is where we also cue the sketches for the live show.
Right.
And it's kind of our audio generating hub, if you will.
And so what you're seeing here on this screen right here, push in on that again, Nick. I have that on my computer screen in there, so I have access to all of that. And occasionally Brandon and I will fight for control of it. He'll have the mouse and I'll have the mouse. And but the order of the sketches is on the left there in that menu, and they all have a little code. And so I can control during the live show how we progress from sketch to sketch as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then once the show is done, we go to a live stream or a live loop of the show and the previous shows, and then this piece of software also facilitates that.
Right. So we've just done a live show before we go on a brief hiatus. So what's your routine as soon as the show is over? If they're out there listening, they hear music, right? We go to a sort of pre-recorded bed of songs that we've used in the past.
So because of technology, we have to render files, and the show's 2 hours long, so it takes a little bit of time to process all the audio. So what we do is we let you guys listen to some nice music while we're over here cooking up the audio. And basically what I do is I take the full show and chop it up into the 4 segments: the hors d'oeuvres, the soup, the dish, and the dessert, and then export these as MP3s, which will then go to iTunes and then also go into the New Wave system, which will then loop for the live stream playback.
And actually, the first thing that happens is they go to our website, which pushes them to iTunes. And then so it's interesting. And that process usually takes a day, right? We give the files over to an outside company. They post it on our website, usually the Monday after we do a live show. So the turnaround is pretty quick. But our version of it that we've recorded begins playing on our stream right away.
Within like 30 minutes after the show ends, it's up and going. So we're actually about ready here to start the loop. And, it will go live.
Excellent. So let's talk some about week-to-week production, because as we already revealed, the sketches are pre-recorded.
Right.
The Monday after our live show, Eric and I write all of the sketches for the next show. And then on Tuesday morning at around 11 a.m., the crack of 11, as we like to say, because we're both night owls and writers, we come in and we record. Well, Eric puts together the show book, which includes a full script of everything that we've written, and which Brandon does an amazing job of organizing. So this was show 40 with Coco Peru. And then as you can see in here, that's still the...
So this is the outline.
This is the outline. But here we have the provocation, which is how we open every show. So we're writers, so we write everything down. And it's a good idea, too, because then Brandon knows what we need to record. And if there's sound effects or specific types of music, we write that into the script as well.
And then this becomes basically the backbone of the show.
Right.
And so on Tuesdays we record everything, all the dialogue, that I take it home to my home studio or here, and then I edit it into the different sketches, add the necessary sound effects and music, and produce the shows with you.
And you're editing all week long. Like, you're emailing stuff to us. It's all email from that point on, and we're sending you notes back. Sometimes a lot of notes back. So what has been the most challenging sketch that you've ever edited for us?
Most challenging sketch? Well, I would say there's probably a few Jordan sketches, which are pretty good. The most challenging aspects are actually the show specials.
Oh,
Because those are fully realized hour-long specials that are from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. Sound designed with music, and a lot more production value goes into those than typically goes into the sketches.
Right, and we've had a couple of those. We had the cruise special when Jordan and Eric got trapped on a cruise ship together.
Right, so I had to build a cruise ship around, because basically, spoiler alert, you guys weren't on a cruise ship.
Right.
You were in the studio.
Theater of the mind, as they call it.
So we, basically had to build a cruise ship around, same with Live at Poison Creek.
Right.
I had to build the atmosphere of a mall.
Right.
And then all the chaos that ensued within the mall and whatnot. And but overall, I would say the production value of the sketches has gotten more complex over the past year and more detailed.
And a lot of the reasons why it became more complex is we saw what you could do. Or we heard what you could do. We saw how good you were and what you were capable of. But we can be a little particular, can't we, about certain things?
Yes. I would say the most difficult aspects are more Eric's scripts. But,
Eric's very opinionated, if you hadn't noticed.
No, he's very particular, and he wants them to sound a certain way, which I respect. And then, but that's what makes the show good.
Yeah, it is.
Is getting that level of perfection and that level of detail down.
Yeah. So I think the other thing that makes the show good is the I don't know what the technical term for it is, the density of sounds that we use.
Right.
So we went
layers.
for a while.
Yeah.
We were very committed to having the podcast be in stereo.
Yes.
And that presented a lot of problems for people, because if they had a bad internet connection, or their device was sort of clogged up with other files, they had trouble downloading it. So what you proposed a solution. What was that?
Well, we basically, what we're doing now is we're making mono versions of the show. However, with that being said, if you can download the stereo versions, I would recommend it for obviously the full production.
And the stereo versions are broken up into the 4 acts of the show. So it's about 4 20-minute files, as opposed to a 2-hour show in one big mono file.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. Okay, cool. Well, I think that pretty much takes people on a technical tour of the Dinner Party Show. Obviously, it should be clear that the Dinner Party Show cannot happen without this man, Brandon Griffith. It would just be me and Eric shooting off our mouths in front of a microphone for 2 hours, which maybe some people are into for like a certain amount of money per hour. But so thank you for everything that you do for the Dinner Party Show.
Pleasure.